And we're back. Thank you for staying with us. We continue with this conversation that we were having with the reigning Miss Earth Kenya 2025. Her name is Esther Princess. And we were just talking about how, you know, polluting fashion is. And you had actually told me that it is the second largest or second most polluting in the entire world.
Yes.
So it's a conversation that should be had. And I love that that's your passion project, because for every now model you need to have like a passion project.
Yeah.
So is that your passion project?
Yes, it is. Sustainable fashion is my advocacy, because I believe that it is where I start. You know, they say charity starts at home. So if there's a problem in the fashion industry, the one that I do love and the one that I'm actively in, then I believe that that is the first place I should start with my advocacy. Yeah.
How has it been so far?
Well, with my advocacy or with my...
With advocacy, and how are you going about it?
Okay, so far I have been doing it, my advocacy is done through my initiative, my Less is More initiative, and it champions sustainable fashion through 3 pillars: education, production, and waste management. So through the education pillar, I basically raise awareness to people, because we are the ones who consume this fashion. So if I change the habits of the people who consume this fashion, then I can create a balance that reduces the demand for fast fashion. So I do this through encouraging thrifting, upcycling, and swapping of clothes, just to make sure that I elongate the lifespan of clothes. This habit of wearing a dress one time and you're like, nishapiga picha, I don't want it anymore.
That's exactly how we do it.
That's exactly how people do it, because uko like, I've already worn this outfit, I don't want it again. So I basically try to birth the concept that you can make way more out of the outfits that you already have, instead of going out each time to try and get more. So that is basically where I have been, and I want to grow further into the production space. I want to challenge the means of production that is not ethical, the production processes that contribute to fast fashion. Yeah.
How easy will it be for us to get to a point where now we are actually speaking sustainable fashion, not just speaking, like the type of clothes we're wearing, the kind of production that takes place? How far are we, just as a country?
I believe we have a long way to go, a long way to go. You know, in as much as we encourage thrifting and upcycling and all these other measures, they are in the reactive side. Not, we are reacting to something that is already done instead of preventing it. So in the long run, what I aim to do is change the story from the production side, because much of this problem that we have in Kenya with the second-hand industry is because of the clothes that are being imported. Do you know that Kenya is the second largest importer of, not second, it's currently the largest. It was the second largest after Nigeria, but it's currently the largest importer of second-hand clothes in Africa. So you can imagine it's like a dump site for second-hand clothes. And 30 to 40% of these clothes end up directly in landfills and dump sites. You know the Dandora dump site? Yes. So if we can prevent or basically do a quality control of these clothes that are coming in, then that's somewhere to start.
All right, okay. Now let's get to know Princess as the model that she is. I want you to take me back to a time when you first experienced modeling, you first experienced pageantry. Take me back to that time. How old were you? What introduced you to pageantry and all of that?
You know, it's funny because growing up, I was very bullied. I was bullied a lot because of my height. Yes. I was so... Being a tall girl in Kenya is not for the weak. Oh my God.
What
and you know how
do
children do not
have to say when you say that being tall? You get bullied for being tall.
Because we are bullied because society standards wameka that girls are not supposed to be tall. You're supposed to be short and you're supposed to fit in, because even when you're looking for your significant other, you're supposed to look at him like this. And
I think there's no standard really, because even for us short girls, we get bullied for being short all the time. And then for you being tall,
it's the double standards for me, right?
It's the double standard.
Yeah.
I mean, who sets this standard? Just exists.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
So growing up, it didn't really cross my mind. Even in high school, when they were having the Miss, I was in Machakos Girls. So when they were having the Miss for Miss Machakos, it didn't even cross my mind see we go and compete. Yeah. Even in campus, it didn't cross my mind until 2020. I was like, why haven't I modeled? I'm leaving campus and I haven't done anything. Yeah. See, I try this. Yeah. So that was when it first crossed my mind, and I set my mind to compete for Miss St. Paul's. That was where I studied for university. But then Rona happened, so I had to postpone to 2021. That was my first pageant in 2021, Miss St. Paul. I didn't place. I thought I had a very good walk. Hey. So when I look at those videos, I'm like, gosh.
You were just bouncing.
Wow, my God.
Yeah.
But that is where it started. I had my second pageant in 2022. I won it, Miss Wave 360. That was my first crown, my first title. And from there, basically, I just started exploring pageants. And I became on a serious level. It was more of fun back in 2023. Yeah. But after 2023, when I came back to the modeling industry, because I took a very long break, I had a very bad mental health year in 2023. So I took a long break from pageantry and modeling as a whole. And I came back in 2025. So when I came back, I had a very clear roadmap of what I want to do, which pageants I want to compete in, which runways I want to be in. And I started training seriously. I trained first at Second Option Agency. Then I joined Aspire Models just to train, because I had reached a point where I'm not just basically randomly joining pageants. I know what I want, and I have a roadmap of how I want to get there. Yes, so that is where I currently am, which is why I'm sort of graduating into the coaching space. Because if I had a mentor or someone to hold my hand back then, I would have been so much further than I am right now. So I want to be that person for the younger me who didn't have someone to bring them up and coach them in the modeling space. Because when you have a mentor to hold your hand, to show you this is what you're supposed to do, to guide you on the means and measures that you can take to basically push yourself out there, you'd be much further than you are. Yeah. I
want to take you back a bit, you know, where you talked about you taking a hiatus, a long hiatus, because you were dealing with your mental state wasn't in the right place. If you're open to talk about it, did it have anything to do with pageantry? Did it have anything to do with the modeling space?
Not really, not really. It wasn't, the foundation of why I was struggling mentally wasn't in modeling. But modeling comes with a lot of pressure. I can imagine, and I
want us to talk about that, because most times when we see you beauty queens, we just assume it's the glitz and glam, as I had mentioned earlier. We just assume it's just you looking dazzling all through, and we don't really get to see the behind the scenes of the work that you get to put in. So tell me about the challenges of, you know, being in that space.
Well, the modeling industry comes with a lot of pressure, because it's basically split into different types of modeling. There's pageantry, there's runway, there's editorial, commercial, and mostly I've done pageantry. I can't speak for the other types, but I do believe that pageantry has the most pressure, because for you to put yourself out there, you're being scrutinized. It's like you're putting yourself on a platform, and everyone is like free to poke you wherever they want.
Has an opinion.
Exactly. Yeah. And for the pressure that comes with having to measure up, you have to be right, you have to know how to do your makeup, have to do your hair, you have to have designers, photographers. That was one of the challenges that I had when I was starting, actually. Yeah. Because I didn't know how to do my makeup first thing. I was a student, I didn't have a source of income. So even when you're going for these pageants, the amount of investing you have to do, a dinner dress, a decent dinner dress is not worth less than 4K, even for hiring. So I think that is one of the biggest challenges that models face actually, because most of them are students, most of them are not working. So to have a means of supporting your journey is not that easy. Even when you want to build a social media presence, you have to invest in makeup artists, photographers, outfits themselves. It's not easy.
Yeah,
It's
nowadays
really
social media, it's more, it's moving more on the reels, so you need a videographer who can be doing those reels.
So you can imagine all that, and you don't have a source of income, and you still have to balance with your studies. It's not like you're like, I'm a model, I don't need my studies anymore. You get, because even me, most of the models have their degrees, because even you see most models work that age that they're in campus. For me, I started a bit later, but most of them are in campus. To say 19 to 25 there. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the crown that you're having on, you know. That's the Miss Earth crown. Tell me about what that crown means to you. And I also know that you got to represent Kenya. You came back just the other day, actually on this week, on Mondays, when you landed back in the country. So first of all, let's talk about the crown. What does it mean to you?
First of all, it's very pretty to look at.
But do you say?
It's very, very pretty to look at. But when I look at it, I basically see the little girl who was very insecure about herself. And I see the woman who came out on the other side and conquered. That is what I see for myself. And I see a platform that I can use to empower other young ladies, because a lot of people are struggling with their self-esteem, with their body image. And for me to have taken what was perceived to be my weakness and make it into my greatest strength, that is what I see every time I look at this crown. And I see it as something to help me empower other young ladies, because at the end of the day, it's about the impact and the mark that you leave on other people. Yeah.
How was it like for you just going? You were in the Philippines, if I'm not wrong. How was it like just being there? And remember, when you're there, you're not Princess, you're not Esther, you are Kenya. They announce you as Kenya, you know? You were there to represent the country. Yani umebeba nchi nzima hivi kwenye mabega yako. So just, how was that experience like for you?
Actually, when you were there, we didn't even use our names.
Yeah.
You just go, Kenya, Kenya, where are you? My name was non-existent there. It's just, you're called by your country. Yeah. And it's such an honor, by the way, because I used to look at other girls representing Kenya and I was like, oh my God, that is such a dream. And for me to actually have been able to be in the same shoes, it was such an honor. But obviously it comes to the pressure. And without the pressure, you feel the interactions with the other queens, because it was very, very fun. Actually, one of my favorite contestants was Miss Belarus, because when she speaks with that accent, I feel like when you watch those Russian movies, she has a very good accent. And just interacting with other people's culture, with their tendencies, their food. It was a really nice experience. And it had its pros and its cons, because having gone there now, I have the experience. I know what to advise other beauty queens to do and not to do when they are going for their international pageants. For me, one of the most challenging parts was I didn't have a good phone. Hey, yo. I need to get myself an iPhone. That was one of the challenging parts, because I had to take contact with another person's phone. And for them to now, unitumia, naweke HD.
Nangoja 5 business days.
Exactly. So it made me post things a little bit later, which may have been challenging to my social media presence. But apart from that, I feel like it was a good experience.
I love that. I love that. And as we wind up on the conversation, maybe, you know, having gone outside the country to represent Kenya, you know, as a beauty queen, what are some lessons you would say you have learned from that? That maybe someone else who's watching us right now, and that is their dream. Yours came true. They're looking forward to theirs also coming true. What would you tell them?
First of all, I'd tell each and every young girl out there dreaming to represent Kenya, or whatever type of dream it may be, that nothing is impossible. That each and everything you set your mind to, you can achieve. And for each and every model out there going to represent Kenya, I can honestly say that once you're out there, you're carrying Kenya on your shoulders. That you're not there just as yourself. It is not just your dreams, but the dreams of Kenya as a whole. And remember, it may feel pressurizing, it may feel overwhelming. Oh, not it may. It will. It will feel overwhelming and it will feel challenging. What I can tell you is surround yourself with a good support system. I couldn't have done it myself. I had a very strong support system, and that is what helped me to stay strong and to represent Kenya to the best of my ability. So I'd advise you to don't be an island. Surround yourself with the best support system you can get and believe in yourself, and that's literally all it takes.
All right. Thank you so very much for joining us on set this morning. Any future endeavors that we should know about? Ama tungoje?
There's something cooking, but it's not in the time to announce
to speak about it. So it's still in the pipeline?
Yes, but I'll definitely be back if you have me to talk about it.
Okay, thank you so much for coming to the show, and thank you for representing Team Kenya so beautifully. All right, this is where we end this conversation with Miss Earth Kenya 2025. Her name is Esther Princess Mukoya. And right about now, I want to introduce Culture Connect. And then after that, we'll get back to the music, so don't go too far.